All right, today in the shop, we're working on some smaller machinery. We have a Bobcat Zero Turn right here. And a common problem on these is when you're lowering the deck, there's a foot pedal and the weld typically breaks on there. I'll show you what we're looking at. So your foot pedal right here, this is where you would press on your foot with your foot and you would pull this up to raise and lower your deck. Well, these, you can see the weld is broken on this one. All right, so the only way to really replace that, and this has already been welded a couple of times, there's so much weld on that, it's not even worth trying to grind that and re-weld that again. It's just not gonna hold. So we have a new bar here, which this whole bar needs to be replaced because where that one is broken is right here. This whole bracket, I'll show you, let me set it down. It's broken right here, all right, because the foot pedal rests in here, but this is where we're broken on there. So this whole front bar needs to be replaced. And if you need the part number from Bobcat, it's right there, 4174-07246, and that's the deck lift bar. And if you need to replace the foot pedal itself, which typically these aren't what breaks, it's that bracket below it. But if you need the foot pedal as well, the part number would be, I believe, let's see, it's probably that 417-4478-7. First thing you wanna do is lower the deck all the way down to the ground, which we did already. Next thing, you're gonna get a 3/4 inch socket, or you can use a wrench, and you're gonna have your deck chains here. You're gonna wanna go to the bolt that's on the back there and loosen that up so that we can remove these chains. Once you take that nut off, it's basically just going to show you. It's just gonna pull out just like that, and you're gonna have another chain on the front on the other side. I wanna take that one off as well. Now, coming up top here, you're gonna have this long bar. You're gonna have one on the other side as well. That's gonna be 3/4 also, so we're gonna take this nut off the back. I will use a wrench to hold this and my impact to loosen on this side. And once you have the nut off of there, you can pretty much just, this is just a spacer, it's gonna fall out pretty much, or if you can hold it in there, pull that bolt out of there and this will lift up and be free. Just stick your bolt, your spacer, and your nut back on, leave it free like that, just so you don't lose these pieces. And you're gonna do the same thing for the other side. Once you have that one freed up, now you can see these carriage bolts here. Well, underneath there's going to be a 3/4 nut on this one and a 3/4 nut on that one, and the same thing on the other side. There's gonna be a pair of them as well. All right, we're gonna go ahead, take those 3/4 nuts off on this side, and then we'll go over and do that side. My first one out, and my second one is about to come out. And then this side of the bar is now going to want to drop down a little bit. Got this was basically the bracket you were taking off underneath of there. And you can see now we are free on this side. So let's go ahead over to that side. We got the first one out on this side, and as you loosen the second one on this side, you're gonna see that you're gonna see that bar start to lower on the other side. It's getting ready to fall down completely. With that back bolt out, now you can see the bar is ready to be pulled out of there. But before we can do that, our pedal here, we're gonna have, I believe those are 9/16. There's one on the top and there's one on the bottom. We're gonna have to take that pedal off because you're not able to pull that bar out with the pedal sticking through here. Even though this is broken, it's still kind of hard to get it out of there. So we're gonna go ahead and just take those two bolts off the pedal and pull that pedal out. With those nuts and bolts out of there, now you can pull your pedal straight up. Now, you should be able to pull this bar out now. There we go. It's out. Now we can slide our new bar in there. Remember, this side with the bracket with the foot pedal is gonna go on this side with that opening where the pedal comes through. All right, I have my new bar down in there, and I need to put my clamps back on each side first. But before I do that, I wanna put a zip tie on here, and what I'm gonna do is just pull this bar up so that I don't have the bar sitting on an angle while I'm trying to work on one side and make it a little difficult. So I'm gonna take one zip tie in the middle bar, and we're gonna pull it around there and pull that bar up. You don't want to zip tie this tight against here. You need the bar to be able to sway back and forth. So don't zip tie it all the way, just enough to get this thing up off the ground a little bit, because we need to line up these two holes, and we need this shaft here to be able to pivot a little bit. If you put that too tight, you're not going to be able to move this as much. So let's turn our bar out of the way here. We're going to take our thing, our bracket, and just line it back up with the holes. All right, I got my bracket on there. I didn't tighten them all the way down yet. I'm gonna leave them loose until I have everything hooked up, just in case I need a little bit of wobble room in this still. But they're on there, hand tight, and now we can go do the other side. All right, we'll take our bracket, we'll line up our holes here, just like that, and we'll put our bolts back in. Okay, both bolts are back in hand tight. Everything seems to be lined up okay. Nothing's hitting anything. I think at this point we can go ahead and we can tighten this down and the other side and get that out of the way before we move on. All right, now before we can connect these arms here, if you took your foot pedal off, you're gonna have to put it on now, because if you connect your arms and you raise this, let me show you. If you raise this up, you're not going to be able to get that bottom bolt into your foot pedal. While this is pivoting and facing down, we're going to put the foot pedal on now. So here's the trick. Take your carriage bolt, put it in there first. Then you can pull up on this. And then what you're going to do is slide the foot pedal over top of that bottom carriage bolt. So with the carriage bolt sticking out, take your foot pedal, make sure it's facing the right way. This part obviously is where you put your foot. That needs to be facing the operator. Go down to that carriage bolt and see the hole, the bottom hole here on the foot pedal. You want to slide that over first. Otherwise, you'll never get that bolt through. And then go ahead and put that nut on there. Once you have that bottom nut on there, then you can go ahead. The top one's a lot easier. But if you need to tighten it, what you can do is let this pedal down a little bit, come around to this side of the mower, and you can see my impact here. I was able to get it right under there to that nut, and that's tight. Now we can go ahead and just put the one in the top. All right, foot pedal's on. Now we can move forward to the arms. Now we can move forward to these arms here that we took off. But before we can attach them, the bar that we took off has a bracket here on each side. It looks like this. You're gonna have to go around to your old bar, and you can see this 9/16, which is holding this bracket on this side. And we come to the other side, there's another one, 9/16. We're gonna have to take both of those brackets off. All right, I got my brackets off, and remember the castle bolt is the top of the head's gonna go through the back here, and the nut will be on the front side, and it's gonna mount just like that, so that when this is turned up, your teeth are facing towards that long that long slot there. So our spacer is right there on the arm, which is gonna go behind there. There we go. Just like that, okay? And we'll go ahead and put the nut on the back. Actually, I need a little bit of clearance here. And it's on. I went ahead, tightened my 9/16. This side is pretty good now, so we're gonna go over there and do the same thing. Okay, we got our little bracket on, and I pull up. There we go. Put our nut on the back. Our nut is on. Go ahead, tighten that up, and tighten your 9/16. Now that both of the arms are on, the only thing left to do now is these chains you took off. They basically slide in there, and this you're gonna have to adjust and then put the nut on the back and tighten according to the height you have, because wherever you have your back one set, the deck kind of needs to be level with that. So you're gonna have to find your height here where you want it and go ahead and put the nut on and do that for the other side. And that's basically it, guys. That's how you put the deck lift bar on a Bobcat Zero Turn. Hopefully this tip helps. If it did, please guys, hit subscribe below. Give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave a comment in the comments. And as always, I will see you next time.